So now we're going to look at type on Illustrator. So I've just opened a new file in Illustrator. This isn't Photoshop, but it's pretty similar. There are some bits that are different, but there are some symbols that you might recognize. So we have our bar of tools on the side here, and we have our other windows along here. If you're missing anything again, just go up to the window. If you're missing layers or anything, we're going to be using a lot of layers here. So I can drag and drop my images for my finished front cover or any other design I'm doing here, and it would just go on a new layer, and then I would add my type to that. But I'm just going to show some of the tools on the page here without that. So the way Illustrator is different from Photoshop is it is a vector program, meaning it doesn't work with pixels. It actually works with mathematics to have smooth lines and edges, and you can actually enlarge anything from Illustrator up to the size of a building and it still wouldn't pixelate because it's working in mathematics, not individual little tiny pixels. With this is particularly good because it makes shapes that we can edit quite easily. Some of the main tools that we need to be aware of is the selection tool and then the direct selection tool. So they're both arrows, but they do slightly different things. Once we get our shapes up, then we can see the difference. To type or add type is T on your keyboard. It's also a little T icon here as well. So there's two different types of ways we can use the text. So if we just click and we have a word there, so I might just write block. And with that, if we go to the selection tool, so V shortcut on your keyboard, we click and drag, you can see you can resize this quite easily. If we hold down shift, it keeps its shape. Okay. And we can also click and pick it up. The other way we can use the text tool, so I'm just going to click T to get the text tool back, is we can draw a shape. So what this does, you can see it fills it with text. This isn't the text that's going to stay there. It's just an example so you can see what's happening. If I go to V again, excuse me, if I hit V in this situation, it's going to type in the box. So I might just use the direct selection tool, the selection tool here from the tools. And then we can see when I change this box, it changes the text inside it. That's because I drew out the box that it goes in, and you can resize it if you grab it and then move it wherever we want. Okay. What we're going to focus on though is editing this type. I'm just going to hold shift and make it bigger. We downloaded our type, so if we want to go to the properties panel, it should come up here. If it hasn't come up, you can go to window and properties. And because I'm clicked on type, it's going to show me a whole bunch of different settings and things I can adjust. You can adjust, if you click on that, we can adjust the height here. We also got the spacing between lines, so it doesn't matter too much here. We also have here the spacing between the letters. So if you want to space that out a bit more. If you want to space the differences here. You can also change the fill, so that's the color on the inside of the text. Change it to green or something like that. If it doesn't work like this, you're just going to make sure that you've selected it, the same one word or anything. Select and have it green. I'll do black outline. Okay, there we go. If we want to change it, the character, so here we can scroll down, and as we go through them, you can see that it changes them there. Let's see. Just open up the new one I created. Click here. what I might actually do is remove the stroke. So that's how thick you can make the stroke. I'm going to keep it to 0. And have no stroke. And I'm going to keep my color black. Okay, so I have the basics on here. In this format, like, I can still edit it and add anything else I need in it. But if I'm finished with my work and I want to save it as is, because if I save this with this document in an editable file, it means that possibly and most likely the next person that opens the file won't have this font downloaded and they won't be able to read it. The next thing we're going to do is also going to make it more editable. I would always grab a layer and copy whatever text you have that there. You do block copy, and I would keep that hidden as well. You can also lock it so you don't actually work on it. That's just the editable file. And this one here, we want to object expand. So as you can see, it's got all these little dots all around it, and I can't actually edit it anymore here. So if I choose V for my direct selection tool, I can still click and select all of them. If I want to right click, I can ungroup. So then they're all individual letters. And again, if you want to regroup, just select them all and press group. I can also edit these letters as well. So if I click A, it selects this direct selection tool. So what that means is that I can directly select different things. So if I want to, let's click away, if I want to click and move this box, I can edit it and move the things around. Again, if I don't like anything, I want to go backwards, Command for PC. If I don't like anything, I can just press Command Z and it'll undo it. So let's just see how we've got these corners. I've got this little kind of anchor thing here. If I click on it and drag, can you see how it curves all the corners? If I just want to curve one, then I just make sure I click this anchor and this little bit here, and I can bring it in. Do the same on the other side. If you have multiple that you want to select at the same time, just hold down Shift while you click some other ones, and you can see they highlight. So then when I do change them, it changes them all together. So here I've edited the original type that I downloaded. I made it my own and changed it for my design.